This is Merritt with Vacant Land Syndicate. Appreciate you taking a look at this 20.2 acre parcel in Moon Valley Ranch in Lassen County. Wanted to give you a little additional information aside from the drone video that you probably already watched. So I wanted to take you on my website to the property right here. One of the first things I wanted to tell you about this property, and you know, one of the things that makes it really cool, and this is not unique, by the way, to Moon Valley Ranch, but it is nonetheless I think a nice, it's just a nice flexibility that the county has with their zoning. This Upland Conservation Resource Management District zoning designation, or UC2. I'll take you to the actual website here, the county. I just want to talk about that for a minute. It really gives you use is allowed by right here. That's what I was looking for. So you can put a single family residence on it, farm building, cabin, regular house, whatever you want. It can be a trailer, it doesn't matter. And you can also put a second unit on it as long as you use it in conjunction with an agricultural operation of some sort. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit because primarily it's this kind of this designation, zoning designation, is intended to build the agricultural industry in that county, but they have a lot of flexibility with it, such as you can put an airstrip in there and, you know, fly airplanes in there as long as it has some kind of correlation with your agricultural operation. Hunting clubs, you can put shooting ranges in there, this kind of thing. Kennels. It's really pretty flexible, and you can even get, I think there's a special permit. Yeah, use is allowed by permit. You can look at this on your own, but it gets into more specific kind of agricultural operations. You can do like nurseries and this kind of thing. I think you can do nurseries without a permit, or hydroponics. But one insight that I had from getting to know one of the county planners there is that they're really flexible with this designation, and if you have some specific purpose in mind, just call them up and ask them. They're really flexible, and they're really nice people. They're up there at the county planning division, so I highly recommend it. It's really actually a nice education to call the county folks there and start, do your due diligence starting with them. They'll tell you a lot about the county, and what to avoid. Now, one thing that needs to be said about avoidance, particularly in the Moon Valley Ranch area, which I'd like to touch on, is here. Now, here's the outline of the parcel here. I'm gonna move out a little bit to give you a better advantage. So there's Termo here. You can see, you can get an idea of all this like white area in here. Most of this, all this, like 90% of that is a flood zone. There are a couple of areas that aren't flood zones in there, and being in a flood zone is not necessarily a deal killer. It's actually good for certain kinds of farming. And so you'll see all these farming plots up here. It's excellent. It's gets a lot of rain. Rain tends to pool there. It's good for plants, crops, and so forth. So alfalfa sprouts and things like that. So it's actually great depending on what you're utilizing it for. But if you're interested in living there, it wouldn't be my first choice to pick a parcel out in this area. I've turned down a lot of offers for people willing to sell their parcels out there, and it's just I'm actually going to close on only one of them. I have two that are in a partial flood zone, but there are buildable portions of the property where you don't need a special permit. And the problem with these things is not so much that they're in the flood zone, it's just that they cost more money to maintain. You have to get a permit from the county, you have to get an engineering plan, you have to get an engineer out there. It's got to be certified by the county, a lot of paperwork, and basically it costs you about $7,000 to get the permit and the engineering plans and everything to get it done, and then you actually have to build the platform itself which I can't remember. It needs to be 4 feet off the ground. I was just talking to a local person there yesterday, or a couple days ago, as a matter of fact, who lives in the flood zone, and he spent a lot of money, getting his place ready for that to survive that kind of thing. And they had some floods a couple years ago, or I think it was about a year and a half ago. So it's something to keep in mind when you buy property out here. Now I want to show you this particular parcel. It's on about 3/4 of it, as you can see, is kind of on a raised knoll here. So it's out of the flood zone. This section here, you can see the line of the flood zone here. It kind of cuts through this portion of the property. So it's maybe a quarter of it, I would say, is in the flood zone to a third. But there's a lot of, and you can still build in there. You would just need a permit if you wanted to put your house like right there. If you're going by the book, and I'm assuming you are. But if you build over here, no, you're fine. And I wanted to show you a flood map. This is something I recommend you doing if you're gonna buy land up here. This is the parcel in question, this little area here, and you can see like the corner here is this blue area, which is the flood zone, and the purple area is out of the flood zone. So these parcels up here are all safe from the flood zone, but you can see just a huge majority of these properties are in flood zones. So something to keep in mind. It's not necessarily a deal killer. If you're not planning on living there, that's fine. If you're just going to use it for hunting, or you're going to go up there and take your four-wheeler, go camping, take your RV up for the weekend, it's a whole different deal, and that's fine. And I'm actually going to get one of those parcels for that intent, for that people with that intention, and I'm going to mark it down accordingly. But I just wanted to show you that you can get these you can actually get these maps from the county. All right. Well, that being said, I would like to show you. Actually, I wanted to copy one of these coordinates here. Down here, we'll copy one of the polygon coordinates and take you to the parcel and just show you a little bit on Google Maps what this looks like. It's a kind of a nifty thing you can do with Google Maps if you haven't done it already. You can plug it in, and you can plug in the GPS coordinates, and it'll show your parcel here in relation to what's around it. So you can see there is access here: Cardinal Road, Raven Road. Those are dirt roads, and Raven Road comes all the way down here to the main kind of highway there, Termo Grasshopper Road. There's a nice elementary school here, which is fairly new. I think it was rebuilt, in the last 2 decades or so. I think there was a fire there a long time ago, or not too long ago, and they had to rebuild it. Let me just drop the little yellow man so you can kind of get an idea of the landscape there, which you already have since watching the video, but you can see what it looks like here. This is kind of I think this was done in the fall winter months. There's the school. You can see some of the landscape around here. So this parcel is it's up on a knoll over here. So I wanted to also show you here, back out a little bit. So you saw the main road access. Now there is some, let's see if I can get into here a little bit. If it shows it on Google Earth. There is a dirt road that somebody just made here. I don't know how good it is. My drone guy only got some of it on video, but you can take it all the way down here, and it's actually potentially a quicker access to the school. Although you would definitely need a 4-wheel drive, I'm assuming, if you go that route. So I don't know how good these dirt roads are right here. So if you have children and you want to take them to school there, you're probably going to have to, unless you have a 4-wheel drive, you'll have to take the regular road access there. But I did want to mention that. One other thing real quick I'd like to mention is, you're not too far from Termo here, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes from Termo. And you're only about, I think, a 45-minute drive from Eagle Lake, which is You have fantastic recreational access here. Beautiful lake. A lot of stuff going on here, boating and stuff. So you could potentially have a boat and just haul it there on the weekend, or go up, take a long trip up from Sacramento or San Francisco, the Bay Area, or even down from Oregon, and spend a long weekend at your cabin on that property. And then if you haul your boat to, it's about a 40-minute drive to Eagle Lake. You can go in there, and it's just fantastic around there. So you can check that out on your own using Google View Maps. The last thing I wanted to mention, I just wanted to take you to LandWatch, just to show you the pricing competition for this parcel. And we'll just type in Lassen County. Oop, what happened there? Type in Lassen County, California. And we'll go, just scroll down here to 11 to 50 acre properties. This is a 20.2 acre parcel. And I'm going to skip these signature listings here. We're going to do, because let's get beyond the fluff here and go to the most bang for the buck. So let's go price low to high. And you'll see the first two properties listed actually are my properties here. This one actually being the lowest of the bunch. This is a real bargain for this county. The fact that it's out of a flood zone, and that this is my property here too, that's in a different part of the county, that has better access. That's why it's a little more expensive. But for something that has mountain views like this, it's just so cheap. These two parcels here are partial interests. As you can see here, I'll highlight selling 75%. The same thing as for this one. It's just a partial interest parcel. I'll click on that for you and show you. I'm not sure why people would buy a 75% of a parcel. That's something I would never do here. I have no idea what that's about. But just wanted to warn you, in case you were thinking about those parcels, that's all you're getting is 3/4. The next best thing to, the comparison is this parcel here. It's in Moon Valley Ranch for 17.5. It's almost the same size acreage, and it is entirely in a flood zone. As you can tell, all this white area is all flood zone stuff. So that's actually not a bad price for that parcel, but that's not what I would charge, and that's definitely not, especially for something that's a flood, something in the flood zone. So these other online sales, these are huge wholesalers, and you can take a look at their properties too. They have like 19 to I think 25 grand. They do a huge business. And those are low prices actually for these parcels. So these are already like marked down wholesale prices. So you're actually getting below wholesale here. Just wanted to mention that. Okay, that's all I have to say. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Easiest thing to do if you want to buy the property is to check out with a credit card on the website. I will adjust the price on there. Just give me a call. If the credit card thing is uncomfortable for you for some reason, we can work something else out. But I actually think it gives you the most protection, and when you purchase it, we'll get the deed made up, overnight it to you. We'll get it recorded. Unless you want it recorded on your own, which you certainly can do that. We can take care of that for you, so it gets recorded properly. I have relationships with these people at the county. So, okay, I appreciate you stopping by. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Take care. Bye.